All right, Abby, can you hear us?
Good morning, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you. I guess we'll get started. Call this meeting to order. Jen, will you do roll call, please?
Tom McDonald,
Here.
Len Titi,
Here.
Jennifer Finley, here, Jim Molitor, Carol Langford, Terry Pitts, Bing Matt, Ellie Bundy, Martin Charlo,
Present.
Mike Dawson,
I'm here.
James Steele Senior.
Lips, Jen. Thanks, everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here. As always, I'd like to start today off with prayer. So I would like to ask Johnny if he would lead us in a prayer.
quick special. Excellent tlachad. Escalate the tlach community with her. To open with lesson scaly with ya. And we have to good to Pachams to lesson quaily ili michum. Escalatum to Queen Gordon Sutton. Extreme. It's ya to kes. Kichumen en Gudleman. Axiom sheetum to Crescent Quaily. Dr. Cressor system to Ken New Wellston to Ken Gudleman. Mit the medicus Sanum students for us, Nesbit Bachems, Testem, looks come comage, looks in air, look at Crescent Quaily. Hedwig Chow Hotletia, Comicach, Hess, Woholetia, it was me, Cominic, Lord Creed, when Cotton made to us clear majesty. Say to Quicks, Lambdom, let hot, Lambdom, the Queen Cotton Sotin. Lambdom.
Lips, Johnny. As always, if I could ask the drum for a flag song. Lam Yaman suit. Powerful voices. Good medicine, the drum.
Wait,
Yep,
can I-
Jim?
James wanted to say one thing really quick.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, since you weren't here for your birthday cake, we ate your share of the calories. And some of us doubled up on it. But,
Thanks
it
for
was a
taking it
belated-
for me.
We didn't want you to get any, you know. Anyway, I brought you a gift and we wanted to sing happy birthday before we got into the ceremony here, so. Everybody.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear chairman. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Stop.
And many more.
Thanks for that embarrassment, Jim. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, it's karma, right? Yeah. Yeah, I would have taken better care of myself if I had known I've been around this long, you know, some of you that know me, pretty well. Anyway, lamps to all of you. Pesaya for coming, today. So we have a full agenda, but as always, we want to start out with our elders. If there's any elders would like to, have something to say, words of wisdom, things for us to take heed to, or our concerns and issues, please. Any elder who would like to speak? Stephen?
I'd like to face everybody again. So, تماشا كسكوت تستخيلهم تسكالي كل question شو الأشياء تماكو سكالي تماكو سtem كسكولم ويت كالزبط من تمخواه تسبيست hui just lämpti se snart ei mente hui se ju se up sen lämt på se puti question em su pe hot puti sip hui su skate kwa su weutsi se hui se suuti nem Emkeosen stem su skate kun koutman se on ehtu se skate su ehtu skate su putut se kos pahan ten sit koe su dispose sut pies gedauken le gestuan spoos an march touched nemen sa pakwas quilt o lehtu se just hotelsi It's not sky maintenance hui. Top is that and tell them to them and so in study what question. Who to say you can chill up and go some what questions, what's the best? Yes, what to speak second the next is get cheney ut gesprochen ten higher or no? Kwam komt to say, kwam komt. It's tell you just so well say. The second choice. Tam is kwesai pamela kwat stereo. Dem hasu say. Say you just sent your name to Koyasu and what question was like a system them as when she to the ade kalaukan. Say who could test. Is quest built least. Jag sprachen den så say ut there. Ja. Yes, what study just so well would she. Is get quick wait to study what it is so well would she. Check kwang to say. To which and this was and so net study was so well would she. Check what question study. Kwam to say. Eke hui, eso. Some it's not experimenting. Then PS, which so net piece them and pedazo them. But them, could some quite steady what your staff can go to men. Now to say. Es en kune yes was just lemte to open. Chwekui kariu. Yeah. You know, makes me happy. that I'm still using. I'm really lucky. I guess you could say blessed that I still could talk Indian, talk my language. Yeah, at the school, anywhere. Sometimes when I see Johnny, talk to him in Indian, it's good to hear somebody respond, makes me happy. I went to boarding schools, places. I come back, my elders were still here, still talking Indian. This was good, it was fine. And when I was coming back yesterday from where we're at, Medicine Tree, and I was thinking about how lucky I was. Sure lucky. Makes me happy. So today I'm still happy. And I was thinking, I wish we could get this language out. We are not just in Kosam, but we are. Sometimes when I go to a store or anywhere, the kids I've taught our mission wherever, they're already tall. They see me, Hesquak Stephen. Boy, that makes me feel happy. Sometimes even the Suyapi says, Hesquak Stephen. Kind of got that look. That's wonderful. Things like that we should talk about. Talk about what we do, who we are. But yesterday when I was up there, it's getting pretty dangerous up there. The trucks, the cars, they don't slow down. They just thought a couple of times we were going to get hit. Because there's so many people and they're not going to slow down. It's only once. And I talked about this before. We should dig that place out a little bit. Right by where that old place is. That old tree is. I don't know if that's tribal land or what. Or does that belong to the state, or if they could cut into that, to be safe. It's if they have a wreck there, it's going to take a lot of people, not just one. But the tribe, the council, whoever, they should look into that. Because we get 150, 200 people there. And it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And people are just zooming by. I request that they should, all of us, the ones that went up there, you went up there. Take a look at that, pay attention. If you don't, I'm not going to vote for you guys. That was just a joke. It's just coming to my head. We were going by. I like to make people laugh, and I like to. When Ian Cheney was coming back, pretty soon he said, "You're coming to my head." He started singing. I said, "Wow." I know he was just joking me, you know. He started singing a song, and I don't know where he got that from, you know. Then they were up there at Agnes's camp too, you know, and there was a lot of people up there baking, you know, and they helped, you know, fixing that. That is good, you know. I'd like to see the councilmen involved in these things, involved in those, you know. That's what I would like to see, you know, so they could know what's going on, you know, what we're talking about. You know, up there, sure appreciate that, you know. To me, I always call you guys the chiefs, you know. Help us out, you know. The schools, the language, especially with the Indian language, you know. That's important, you know. Even going out there, you know, just doing things, you know. It would be good to see the councilman there and seeing what's happening, you know. So Monday we're going to be going down Missoula to support, you know. And I'm glad they're doing this, and I'm glad they're walking. I'm glad they're, you know, the kids are really, they're really important to us, you know. And I've walked a few times, and we should support them all the time, you know. And Monday they're going to have a powwow, a celebration. We should change that back to celebration. And then they had one in Arlee, and high school or whoever put that on. And that was pretty nice, you know. We had a good time and danced around. Things like that, you know, we should support our children, support the young ones, support the school, support, you know. We should start gathering, you know. That way we could be stronger, you know. For our children, for anybody, just anybody, you know. When we dance and do all this stuff, you know. Be wonderful, you know. You guys are our leaders, you know. And I asked to help me out with that thing up there, Pete Beaverhead's house, you know. That thing was really a special place, you know, that where he lived. How wonderful it was. It's a special place, not just that place, but wherever people are, you know. They're great leaders, you know. We should support that, you know. People just come in there and they just go in there and just live anywhere they feel like it, you know. And Agnes's place is another special place for me, you know. I used to visit her when she was alive yet. And those toilets, those toilets are really bad, you know. They should get rid of those toilets and put some new ones in, you know. I keep saying that, then they say, well, we'll get some honey buckets. I don't know why they call it honey buckets. Maybe that was just a joke, you know. So that's the only honey I know, you know. So anyway, I'd like to see some new toilets up there, you know. Because when we went up there, you know, we had to use those old toilets, you know. So anyway, thank you for letting me talk, and I like to stand up here, you know, and because I don't want you guys to talk behind my back, you know. But you could. But anyway, I appreciate that, and hope you guys are ready to vote. Be sure and go vote. And I'm just for everything. Thank you all.
Lips for those words. I know that, sorry, I couldn't make it to the medicine tree yesterday. I had a personal thing that I needed to help my dad out with. We will take in the advisement of the safety down there. That's always a big thing. So it's been an issue for such a long time. I remember when we put in the sign down there for Clarence so many years ago, decades and decades ago, and it is a constraining issue there. We'll try to figure that out. We'll try to improve that, definitely. And I'll see what we can do about some new SSTs, sweet smelling toilets up at Vandenberg Camp. I want to, before any other elders speak, I want to remind all of you that we have flu shots, shingle shots, pneumonia shots down the hall for any of those that want to get a vaccine. I really strongly recommend it. If you don't have it, we don't have the new COVID booster, but we have all the other ones that are worthy of your arm. If you wanted to lift up your shirt and take a shot, just your arm shirt, not anywhere else. Also, we have breakfast. If you don't know, we have breakfast here. There's no lunch. We want to have you eat breakfast before you leave. We want to make sure you get a meal. So many people wouldn't stay for the meal, and so having a breakfast and having bacon at breakfast is really important to me. It's my two favorite things of every day. So is there any other elders that would like to speak? Phil, to push the button on that thing there.
Been a long time since I've been here. There's some things on my mind. I look at the tribal membership and election time coming up. And I notice that our rules are bent. I was a chairman of the election board one time. And we followed the rules that you had to live in your district to run. There was one person that ran that we eliminated. He was from Mission, but he moved to Dixon. And we eliminated him. To this day, he's still angry at me, but that's what the rules meant. We should follow them. Another thing I look at is we have tribal members that live off the reservation for different reasons. Most tribes, they allow people to vote off reservation, to have a special place for off reservation to cast their ballots. Why do we not allow them not to vote? We should change that. Because they have the same rights that we have, hunting rights, fishing rights. They get their per capitas. They should be represented too. Another thing I look at is I've been working on a lot of people, my dad, my mom, a lot of old people, Lucy, Mitch. They showed me a lot of things. Combat, how we do powwows. When the powwows in Arlee was first taken over by the committee, it was because of beer gardens. We wanted to take the alcohol out of Arlee. And so the powwow committee was formed as a volunteer. So we took pride in what we have here. And that nobody got paid. If you're a committee member, you are not to profit or make any money off the powwow. That was the rules then. All of a sudden we've changed. We start paying people to do things. We've lost our cultural ways of saying we want to do this, but we want to be paid. I go different places. I got invited to Albuquerque to be a judge for the horse parade. I went there out of my own pocket. I didn't ask council for any money. I went to Rapid City last year and I led the first grand entry. I did this out of my pocket. Then I look in the minutes and I see where people go to rodeo, we have to pay their way. Why do we have to pay everybody for what they do? Another thing, I've been an election judge for a long time. We first started out, we got $25 to come to the first meeting in mileage and $50 for sitting all day. And I'm glad they raised it this year, but what I'm trying to say is that as Indian people, Kootenai, Ponderay, Salish, we should take pride in what we have. Instead of asking for money to do something, we should do it because we know how to do it and can show other people. That's how we develop our young people. I've tried to do this all my life. I don't speak up very often. But when things bother me, I have to come up and say, this is what we have to do. It's election year. A lot of things are going on because of election year. Crazy things. People looking sideways at each other. It bothers me. We're supposed to be an example to the younger people. We shouldn't be looking sideways to each other. And we look at how much we spend our language. That's a lot of money we spend. But that's okay. And we have things that we have on the reservation, like our hunting rights. And I see young people that waste game. My grandfather died for our hunting rights in the Swan. And it really angers me when I see people wasting game, hunting for trophies. The animals are as a gift to us people to sustain us, to make us strong. All animals. We are part of that system. We start abusing that. We start abusing each other. That's what I believe. And I look for everybody to say, I am proud to be here today. I'm a tribal member. What can I do to change, make it better? That's all I have to say for you guys. Thank you.
Shirley's next.
Them lips for those words.
Can you all hear me? Maybe I should yell, huh? For those of you that don't know me, I'm Shirley Trahan from St. Ignatius. I work for the CSKT Culture Committee. I've been there 20 years or more, working in the language. And before that, I was a language teacher at the St. Ignatius High School, St. Ignatius Public School. I did that because I thought our young people needed to learn something about their people, about their language. And a job came open at the Culture Committee for a language specialist, and I applied and got the job. Years ago in the 80s, I learned how to write the language sound for sound, not the English way, but it's called the International Phonetic Alphabet. I knew the language already, and so the alphabet was real easy for me, and I'm still doing that. I'm listening to recordings of the elders from way back and write them out sound for sound in that alphabet. And I can read it, make sentences, tell stories, listen to those recordings, and write everything that those elders have left for us. A lot of it is information about our tribes, the things they used to do, the places they went. And it's been very rewarding for me, and I believe for my family too. And we've tried for several years to have language classes. They'd go good for a while, and then they would just kind of stop. Well, we've got a different system now. We have language classes there at the Culture Committee at the Longhouse. We've had them for like about 5 years now. How many groups we've had? I think 5, maybe 6. They are there for, I can't say how many weeks, but they go through several books in the language. Some of them are pretty proficient at it. We even have teachers come out of those classes. We just finished a round last week, and we're going to start more classes in the middle of October for several new ones, and then the ones from last year will be there for the second year. So that's one thing that maybe some of you don't know about. And I hope that you will remember that language is being taught. There's inclusive also. Those young people are very proficient at the language and the culture. They've been very lucky to have good teachers. We hope to continue the language and keep it going. So that's part of my work. Other part is being an elder of our Elders Advisory Board. I didn't get there right away. You had to wait until you're proven language speaker and cultural knowledge. There have been many changes, well, a few changes. One of them being that our leader, our chief, Tony Inkashola, passed away last year, and made a big change. We have a young director now, and he saw something good in her. He thought that she would be a good candidate for that, so she's our new director. And she's working hard at it, and she's doing good. There's something else I wanted to talk about now. Being an elder is not fun sometimes. But we still have our jump dances on New Year's with name giving if there are no deaths in the community. Some things have changed and some things are still the same. We still try to have our wakes there, but right now we have just gotten a new parking lot pavement. So for that reason, we're not having wakes there at the moment. We'll start again soon. But we're there for our people. We're there to help our people to learn our language and learn our culture if they desire. Call us, come and see us, and we'll do what we can to help you along those lines. We don't want our culture and our language to go away. It was in grave danger in the 70s, and things are coming along better. We want everybody to think about it. If that's what you really want, then go for it. Don't make excuses. Don't say it's too hard. It might be hard to learn those sounds, but you can do it. That's in your DNA. So I want to encourage everybody to keep going in your ways. And we also have a big, I don't know, maybe an atlas, maps of our territories. And some of it was used in the water compact, all those place names of the places where we've lived before. That's a huge area. When you think about it, our people traveled far away to get what they wanted, what they needed. So don't get discouraged about our language or culture. Check into it. Get involved in it. That's what we want as elders. And I'm happy to say that I've been there 22 years. And I've learned the language from when I was growing up. Same time Stephen did. Spoke our language. Our folks spoke our language daily, every day. As kids went to school, went home, our language is spoken there. So we didn't ever lose it. And for that, I'm thankful. We did go to the medicine tree yesterday, and it was great, with great pleasure. We got to see Sophie Haynes, and it was great to see her. I didn't get to talk to her, but she was there, and that was what mattered. She's 90 years old, and we got to see Frances Vandenberg. She's in her 80s, and it was always a pleasure to see her, talk to her. And Eva Boyd. All of those ladies are our oldest language speakers. We're thankful for them, grateful to still have them. There's others that couldn't be there for different reasons, and they were missed. But sometimes you can't always go to an event, even if you want to. So I'm running out of breath, so I guess I will let you all go now, and hopefully when you leave here, you'll have a good day and that your homes will still be safe the way you left it. Damn lunch.
I'm Shirley for those words. Any other elders? That's it. Just want to comment on a couple of things. Tearing off of a couple of things that were said. One by Philip. I'm a strong supporter of granting voting rights for tribal members that live off the reservation, and I would love to be able to get to the point where we amend our regulations to allow that to happen. Under our Constitution, all tribal members have equal access and rights and privileges to our resources, and so I think that constitutes a need to have them with the ability to vote. So I would appreciate any other council members that are interested in that initiative. The other thing that Shirley talked about, and this is the thing that we do all the time, and it becomes more obvious and more of a concern for each one of us, but cherish each moment that you have with your family and get out and do as much as you can and try to explore all of our Aboriginal territory. It is really important to take back all of our uses and gatherings and celebrations in all of our Aboriginal territory, over 20 million acres of it. I all the time argue and present that issue and try to steward that with every management thing that we do, because it's so important. It's so empowering to be able to go back to a landscape or a place where maybe a generation or two has been removed from it. There's so much out there, so many things that would improve our community's strength of family, connectiveness, and health and well-being. And all of that lies in all of this territory that, as Shirley mentioned, our people utilize for tens of thousands of years. And to restore that access and go do that is critically important. So I encourage all of you to do that and to provide that information. And Shirley did a really good job identifying the different resources and people of knowledge that can help secure that access and help you and anybody out there that would love to do that. So now I'd like to ask the council to do updates, and we'll just do it clockwise. We'll start over here with our senior council member, Carol.
Thank you. I just counted up that I have attended, well, probably I haven't attended every 119 quarterly meetings, but that's how many that I should have attended. So I want to start out by thanking the drum for the song this morning and always appreciate that, and the elders' instruction, always appreciate that. Well, the tribes are experiencing some wins. I believe I call them wins. We started a new fiscal year, October 1, so that means new money for programs and us to kick off new things, new ideas. The other win is Project 30, which it's on the agenda, and I'll let those two gentlemen, Stephen Marjo and Shay Ashley, talk about that when that comes. I think that's a very exciting project here in Pablo. It's a housing authority homes that will be turned over to them to operate in a manner that will hopefully help the community out tremendously. The other issue I will be talking about on the agenda also is the ARPA funds that are available for each community to do projects in their communities for, I say for children, because that's the way the money seems to be being spent. I'll be talking about the skate parks. And when I say skate parks, I don't mean just skate parks. I mean, the skate parks include bikes, roller blades, skates. And so there will be opportunity for kids to have these venues in their communities. Right now in the ARPA fund, there's $100,000 set aside for each community. And this was kind of kicked off, first of all, when Dixon first we did a cleanup down there and we spent some money. And then I think our executives realized there was a need for all of these other projects in other communities. And so we decided to go ahead and start figuring out, like me and Martin had a district meeting a couple weeks ago, and we introduced the skate park idea. And there was a young man named Terrence Lozo who had gained 1,000 signatures. And his interest was to get a skate park in his community in Ronan. And so at that same time, myself, Tom, Jimmy, I don't know if Martin was there, but we met with Whitney Williams, who is Congressman Williams's daughter, Congressman Williams, and Jeff Ament, who is the drummer on Pearl Jam, a band. And he came forward and met with us and talked about how he could bring some funding to the table, and then with the tribe's funding, we would be able to do these skate parks. And so today we have a field trip with them. We're going to be taking them to the sites that we're hoping that will be developed. Jimmy will start out in Arlee, I think around noon. And so he may have to leave a little bit early to meet Whitney and Jeff down there to look at the two proposed sites in Arlee. And then we have two proposed sites in Ronan and then Pablo. And hope Martin can join them on that. But it's really exciting to see, and we'll show a video when it comes time on the agenda to look at what we're looking at. And the other communities haven't had meetings yet. Well, Mike has, maybe he's discussed it in his community, but we're thinking that all communities, we have to have meetings in those communities to figure out what communities want. Like Ellie already has a skate park, so she won't be building another one. So but other things in her community to do for kids. I mean, I really think it should be for kids, like upgrading baseball parks, basketball courts, in a place that's visible for people to watch the kids, but also a place for the kids to have to go. The other thing that I have been working on along with Patricia Hibbler is the regional treatment centers. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago in Bozeman regarding it, and it's still in the infancy stages, but we are looking at possibly now 2 locations, because we found out federal law will only allow each regional treatment center to have 16 beds, because we were looking at 32. Since the law doesn't allow 32, we thought, well, let's split them up. And they are seriously talking about having one here on the reservation. And what that would entail is that us seeking funding, an architect, the Montana Healthcare Foundation is helping us set up these meetings to facilitate this whole project. So it's not just, you know, a bunch of tribes flinging in the wind. We're actually organized and it's looking good. And we're looking at planning and administration and all the planning that goes into a regional treatment center. It's not an overnight thing. It takes a long time to plan. I mean, regional treatment center will be a 24/7, which is very costly. And that's why I think each individual tribe thought we can't do it singly because it would break us. So this is our option to be able to handle, hopefully, the things that are going on. And there are a treatment center in Browning, and I think there's one in Spokane that we use a lot. And those beds aren't full a lot of the time. So we're making sure that we can fill this. And I think we know we can with drug court, with the healing court and all of that. So there is a need out there for this. And I know people have asked and said, God, we need a treatment center. So hopefully this will be it'll be something that'll be here. I last night attended a function at the Mansfield Center at the University of Montana, and it was celebrating 40 years of bipartisanship, integrity, and ethical leadership. And who was there was former Governor Mark Roscoe and Liz Cheney, who is Vice President Dick Cheney's daughter, Liz. And they spoke about this issue, and I took one serious thing away from her talk. I mean, it was wonderful. I'm glad I went because it really opened the door to a lot of my concerns for our country. But one thing that she did say that we need to be concerned about is that we have the Speaker of the House has been ousted, so they're going to replace that speaker with somebody else. And she did say that she was concerned about Jim Jordan being that person because of his involvement in the January 6th and how much knowledge he had about the whole thing leading up to January 6th. And she was very concerned. And so if he becomes Speaker of the House, I don't know, we might be facing some things, but she felt like, you know, we can overcome anything. You know, it's about the Constitution for us and the rule of law and things like that. Well, I was really impressed and I'm glad I went. I learned a lot. I also want to say I've been attending the Salish choir and hymns at the Catholic Church in Mission. It's at 2:00. If I encourage people to join us. I thought it was going to end because it was under a tribal health program, but after talking to tribal health and Tricia Hibbler, they decided to go ahead and fund that to continue on. And if, you know, they pay for the books and snacks and whatever else we need. So I encourage people to continue to attend that. Last one session, I know we had 30 people there. So I know there's a real interest in that. And when Shirley mentioned the Salish language students, I was looking at their contract. And I was hoping that within that contract, it mentions that they can attend community things. But I would hope there would be a little more encouragement for those young folks to really participate in wakes and funerals and other celebrations, you know, and help us out. Because me and Johnny, Clark, and Sam, we didn't go to the medicine tree because we knew Elaine Plant's funeral was going on yesterday. So we stayed back and we attended that, and always appreciate being with those folks because they sing, and I mean, they sing loud, and I love Johnny's, you know, his mentorship and his instruction on the language and just listening to it. The other thing I have been working on is Medicaid, what do they call it? Medicaid expansion reauthorization. And what that is in the legislature coming up, there's a possibility they're going to get rid of it. It'll sunset June 22nd, I believe, of next year. And that's Medicaid expansion. And what I didn't realize is, but when they say expansion, they don't mean the Medicaid that when I turn 65 that I get. It doesn't mean that. It means the people that have been added on. And I don't know the numbers, but there's a lot of people that will be cut off if they get rid of the expansion. So we're working on Medicaid reauthorization, and we're gonna be asking folks to write letters, call, attend the legislature, and be visible, because this is a huge issue. It brings in a lot of funding to our tribal health program. And so we need to make sure that we continue with that program. I also attended Tawahi, which brings in more funding to the tribes. It's just still in the infancy stages, and I think we received our first 200,000, but it's gonna bring in millions of dollars into like social service programs, human resources, the courts, those kind of programs. And so I'm really excited about that. And then I think that might be all, Mr. Chairman. Oh, the Ronan Health Center. That should have been my number one. Did I mention that? No. Okay, anyway, the Ronan Health Center is up and running. I found out there's a couple of issues with the pharmacy yet, so that's gonna take a little bit, but they're doing wonderful. I did pick up prescriptions. And then also, and I think the Irving girls, one of them, I think it was either Tara or Stephanie, one of them, come up to me and got in my face and said, Carol, we need a fitness center in Ronan. I don't know how long ago that was. I think it was Steph, anyway, she was in my face. And then I turned to Rick Eneas and I said, Rick, we need a fitness center in Ronan. And so the fitness center is nearing completion, and so we're going to name it after Steph Irving. No, no, but anyway, so I'm really excited about that because, I'm an avid bike rider, trying to keep weight off, and got one of those things for my blood sugar, so I encourage everybody who's out there and wants to get healthy, you can do it. You can do it on your own. So, but there will be a fitness center to help us. So I think that's it. Mr. Chair, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Carol. What, urban girl got in your face? I can't believe that.
She was pretty short when she did. I was looking down to her.
You're short. Oh, no. All right, Martin.
Lunch, Mr. Chair, Pesquex, Pesia. Good morning, everyone. As always, I just want to thank the people out there that serve us, all of our employees, our staff, truly the people that are, at the very bottom that don't get the recognition are always the people that probably do the most work and probably the ones that we should listen to the most. We get here and, those people are there, but, they're not always recognized. So I think that that's something that's really important. Going into the flu season, our healthcare workers, special prayers for them that they stay well to keep us well. We're still coming off of a pandemic, and I was always the guy that encouraged people to wash their hands, wear a mask, and social distance. And those things are still true, even without it still being a reality to a lot of people out there. Those are things that we should do anyway if we're sick, and stay home and protect our elders and protect our children. And that's something that is paramount. Yeah, bless you. Really paramount to me. I have a couple teens, a 20-year-old and a grandkid coming in December, and an elderly father. So the gamut is there as far as who I look out for. And then I start thinking of the next generation and our culture and how perpetuating that is the most important thing we should be doing. And so I appreciate Shirley and Johnny and the people that have taught me a little bit in my life, and my dad especially for the songs that he's taught me over my lifetime, and the fact that he's 86 now and he's still sweating with us. And I'm doing my best to catch up, because for a long time I chose my career over culture. And that's something that Vi talked about yesterday was, we all work really hard, but it's usually something that's sacrificed on the other side. And there were a lot of years that I just didn't go because whatever reason, I was busy, I had family, I had obligations, I had work. And so it's something now that I have the opportunity to do. It's really important to support those things, especially from our level, and make sure that those go on and continue. And so things like the medicine tree trips, the elders committee meetings, every little bit of culture we can do and squeeze into our busy lives is important. I think that, I guess to Stephen's point about the medicine tree area, that Connor project is something that's on MDT's 5-year plan. And I got to go down there with Tony before he passed and talk about that project. And, it was something that was started in like 2001, I think, is when they first started really talking about that. And Steep and all the things you talked about, they need to happen down there because it's scary to stand along that highway and have semis blow by you at 50, 60 miles an hour. And safety down there is really important. We have a kind of an important couple of weeks coming up, so civic duty is really important. I feel that it's probably the most important thing for us. Small elections are something that, last election I won by 1 vote. And everyone that voted for me can claim credit that I'm here, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of the membership that supported me. And so go out, vote next week. And probably the biggest thing right now, probably try not to ramble because I'm a little tired. We're planning a powwow. I appreciate Jen Trahan and Ruth Swaney and the rest of the people that are instrumental in the powwow down in Missoula. Last year we renamed the bridge and we kind of addressed the history that went with that and with some of the sadness that was associated with that. This year it's a celebration. Steep, and it's not a powwow, it's a celebration. So we are celebrating the fact that we're still here, our resiliency, that area down there is our homeland and will continue to be our homeland forever. And this will be an annual event that will be carried on hopefully forever. And with the support of council and the people in Missoula, it's just something that, Tom mentioned, our homeland is something that extends well beyond our reservation boundaries. And that's something that we should practice and participate in, and going down there. And, even if it's just going to watch, it's showing that who we are and what we're doing. So I've actually asked the corporations to go down there to kind of table and showcase our successes. A lot of people don't even realize that some of these corporations around here are ours, and that the tribe is one of our financial people call it $1 billion organization, and we should be proud of that, and we should express that to the community because I feel like we've come full circle in a lot of places, and having an event down there in the middle of Missoula, Karis Park, underneath a bridge that we just renamed, is something that we should celebrate and really showcase. So I hope everyone goes down there this weekend, Monday. It's a holiday, so you don't have work, so no change of duty needed or anything, or no doctor's appointments that you have to pretend to have. Other than that, I think my fellow council people will address a lot of the things that we've been doing. Proud of the time I've had here. Bittersweet right now because I'm a realist and I know that this could be my last quarterly. And so if that is, I want to thank everyone. If it's not, I look forward to serving. Thank you.
Lips Martin, and thank you for your work on the celebration. This could be an annual event in Missoula, and I hope everybody's gonna be a beautiful day. I hope everybody gets a chance to come down. Bing?
Just quick, Specia. Mr. Chairman. Johnny, for your prayer this morning. Yaman Suit for your flag song. We appreciate that very much. And I want to thank Shirley, Philip, Stephen for your words this morning. We always like to hear from the elders. all the time. So thank you very much. I got a short report this morning. Got to stay home quite a bit this quarter. So just a couple of trips that we want to report on. There's one that we went down to Bozeman, me and Tony Incasula Jr. here a couple of weeks ago. Went down and went to a conference with the Forest Service and the National Fish and Wildlife Service down there in Bozeman over the National Forest for old forest restoration down there. Tony really opened the eyes of those people down there, you know, letting them know that, hey, this is still our home down here. It's part of our home here, he said. You know, and you guys should be talking to the tribe up here before things are what you're doing and letting us know what you're doing. And when we left there, after the conference over, we got a lot of thank yous, you know, for being there and voicing some of the opinions like Tony just said, like what Tony stated, you know, and it was good to have them people come up to you and just, you know, thank you for letting them know of what all the interest that we have all over the state. But it's, you know, was real good to hear that from them people. With the cultural committee, we went up to Marshall ski area up there, and city was up there, Missoula officials, some of the other groups that were there. I don't remember what that one's name was. Heart of Rockies group was up there, and you know, they're up there too. They were invited us up, you know, because it's part of it's a big part of our homeland up there, you know, and in a way they want to preserve that too, you know, and it's good to hear that the city of Missoula always been working with the tribe real well, you know, and you know, just supporting them, you know, supporting us, the tribe here, you know, like Martin said, you know, he works a lot with the city council and whatnot in Missoula, and they're this fall coming up. They got a big role in it too, and the sponsor and Martin right there to help them with it, you know, and it's great that they include us with that, with their ideas, their celebrations, and whatever else they got going on. But you know, like I say, I don't have much to report on. You know, it was good to some of the things that work we've been doing here. You know, we have some issues that we're dealing with yet, you know, and it's going to probably we'll be dealing with them yet for down the road or a while yet. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. You know, it was good to see a big group like this here. And like Martin said, go out and vote. It's coming up. So thank you all.
I'm Lim Spink. Just one update on the Marshall Mountain. I don't know if anybody ever skied there. It's an old ski hill in Missoula. Been there a long time. And city of Missoula and the Missoula commissioners set up a bond availability funding to buy open space. And Missoula was kind of at the forefront of that kind of thing in Montana. They set up a land trust that would buy private land and dedicate it to open space. A long, long time ago, they were the first ones in Montana. Anyway, together they have an open space levy that they have funds that are generated, and they are buying Marshall Mountain ski area to secure it for open space. And they've asked the tribes to partner or participate or be part of that action into the future of any opportunity that the tribes want to see out there on that landscape. So it's been a really nice inclusive thing in their acquisition of Marshall Mountain, but it's a done deal now, and I'm happy for them and happy for us. Go ahead, Ellie.
Thank you, Chairman McDonald and Council Peers. Welcome to everybody here today. It's nice to see the room so full. I want to thank the drum group for the beautiful song, Johnny for the heartfelt prayer, and the words of our elders this morning. Well, as you all know, the beginning of this quarter saw extreme fire dangers across the reservation, and I wanted to be sure to give a huge heartfelt thanks to our CSKT Division fire employees, Northern Rockies Incident Management Team members, and all other personnel who worked so hard to suppress the Big Knife, Middle Ridge, Communication Butte, Nirada, and Mill Pocket fires. We are grateful for you and thank you so much for your commitment, leadership, passion, perseverance, and strength. I would also like to provide an update on our missing and murdered Indigenous people in Montana. To date, there are currently 188 missing people in Montana. Of those, 53 have been identified as Indigenous. We constitute 28% of missing in a state where we represent 7% of the population. I've continued to provide presentations in an effort to help educate and raise awareness to this issue. Last week, having presented for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at their Emerging Trends Conference in Billings. And next week, I will be presenting to the U.S. Forest Service's law enforcement supervisors in Missoula. So while at the NCMEC training at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, I learned more about 3 very important topics: human trafficking, sextortion, and CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material, or child pornography, as defined under federal law. It's so important that I need to share a few things with you. And I apologize in advance for the serious nature of my report, but we cannot be afraid to keep having difficult conversations related to these issues. And if my sharing today helps even one child, then I am glad to have used my time in this way. First, human trafficking. It is the fastest growing criminal business in the world, according to the State Department. It ranks only second behind drug trafficking in profitability, bringing in an estimated $150 billion annually. To put that in perspective, Walmart makes an average profit of $14.7 billion in 1 year. Again, $150 billion annually for sex trafficking. The majority of those trafficked are young adults between the ages of 14 and 24, and almost all of them have experienced either sexual exploitation, violence, or forced drug use. Keep in mind that one reason why this business is enticing for traffickers is that a human can be sold over and over and over again, while a drug can be sold only once. The targets are often those who are the most vulnerable: runaways, homeless, those with an abusive home life, substance abusers, those with mental disabilities, or those living in poverty. Traffickers supply drugs, housing, money, clothes, phones, whatever it is that they feel that their targeted victim may need, and then later demand payback. You must know that this is not just happening in the large cities, it's here, it's in Montana. The other terrifying thing that is happening to kids today is something called sextortion. And I must preface this by saying you must not turn a deaf ear thinking my kid would never do that, because the truth is technology and social media have absolutely transformed the ways our kids are communicating today. The FBI has interviewed victims as young as 8. Arming your child with the information allows them to help their friends if the need arises. It affects children and teens of both genders and crosses all ethnic and socioeconomic groups. Victims can be honor roll students, the children of teachers, student athletes, etc. The only common trait among victims is internet access. So what exactly is sextortion? It's when children and teens are coerced into sharing nude images with someone they believe they can trust. Perhaps it's someone posing as a boy or girl their same age. And then that person is blackmailed with threats of sharing photos with parents, teachers, friends, or threatening physical harm to their families if the kids don't send either more photos or money. This can be traumatic for children and teens as they feel shame, fear, and confusion when confronted with that. Too many kids have taken their own lives because of that shame and fear. They don't know how to address it in that moment, and that seems like the only way out, which is why I feel like it's so important to speak about today. Please talk to your kids in non-judgmental ways about what this is and how they can report it and get help. Reporting can be done online at cybertipline.org or by calling 1-800-THE-LOST. I'm currently collaborating with the DOJ's computer crimes investigator to bring this topic to our reservation schools and communities soon. I won't go into great detail about this third thing, but a disturbing reality is that the internet platforms we have all become accustomed to connect and share information are also now being used to disseminate and collect C-SPAN, again, the child sexual abuse material. It can be found in virtually any online realm, social media, online gaming, and email. Please know that the cyber tip line can also be used to report incidents of suspected child sexual exploitation. It was shared that the tip line has received over 82 million reports, and the Child Victim Identification Program has reviewed over 322 million images and videos. And please know that we're not just talking about 16 or 17-year-olds. We're talking about babies, toddlers, prepubescent boys and girls, and that is terrifying. It's also heart-wrenching to know that there's a demand for this material, and the fact that that demand even exists is just heart-wrenching. It's also important to know that support is available for survivors and their families through the provision of crisis intervention, resources, and continuum of care after the abuse has stopped. Again, I'm sorry to speak on heavy topics today. I'm glad I'm in the middle of all the good news you're going to hear today. But if one of you hears this message and talks to your kids, then it was important enough to share. So with that, I will end my report by saying thank you to the membership for the opportunity to serve you. And to all of you looking to make it to Yellowstone to harvest a bison, good luck and be safe. And then in closing, my amazing little grandson here in the front row, James, is an Nkusum student, and he's selling candy bars to help Nkusum with their playground. Candy bars are $1 each, so hit him up if you get an opportunity today and you're interested in helping him with that effort. That's all I have. Lem Shpesia.
Ellie, for your hard work. I'll pass it this time and move over to Len.
Kisu Kiyuki, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, distinguished membership. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come and be with us this morning. As I've mentioned it before, it always sends a reminder about who we work for, who we serve. We're not leaders, we serve you. Mr. Chairman, I want to be very brief on my report, and I just wish to take this time